Next up is Ricki-Lee's album On My Own. I really love Ricki-Lee. I think she's amazing. Very brave decision to release on the same day as Ari. Most other artists would just push back the release or bring it forward. But I think it's cool that she did it anyway. She should be very proud of this album. Personally, it's not my taste to just go banger, banger, banger and not have light and shade. I think that's what I really appreciate in a lot of albums, that there is, up-tempo ballad. But then again, there's no skips, there's no filler on this album either. I really do feel like every song could be a single, which is a really big deal. If you do want to know more about Ricki-Lee's story, I highly recommend the Journey to Aussie Pop 2-part series podcast she did with them, and she went through step by step. But if you don't know her story, her last album was actually released 10 years ago, Dance in the Rain 2014. So to come back 10 years later with a new album, I just really admire her hustle and the way that she's been able to come back from seemingly her career being ended. So she did release singles in 2017 called Not Too Late, 2018 with Unbothered, while she was signed to EMI, but it kind of felt like they blocked her from releasing an album because she had so much material. And then she finally left them and released the single Last Night in 2020, which went number 1 on iTunes, which to her is like, oh, it's my first number 1. From then, she's just hustled and hustled. She hosted Australia's Got Talent in 2019, which she did again in 2022. She also hosted Australian Idol in 2023, and then this year as well. And then she's been on the Nova radio show every night as well while making the album. It's just insane. And I think it's a real inspiration that if you just put the work in and keep trying, eventually something will click. And I think the fact that all of her songs she's released from this album have done well on radio is really great. Like, obviously she has the connection with Nova, and that's probably why it's done so well. But Nova wouldn't just play a song if it was crap either. Like, I think Ricki-Lee deserves it, and so do many other Australian artists who don't get played on radio. But if you hustle like she has done, and, I really respect that, like, no job is beneath her either. Like, I know that a lot of people go, oh, she's on radio and she's hosting. I'm like, no, that's cool. Like, I think it's cool that she's trying to remain relevant, and that's what you should be doing as an artist, playing the game, so to speak. I was really lucky to see her in 2019 with my friend David, who's been on the pod with me a few times now, and we just bought tickets again for September in Sydney, so excited to see her live. I really think all the singles will be great. On My Own, Ghost, and the latest one, I Was Made for Loving You, which references the Kiss track. But my favourite single was Point of No Return, which was my 8th most played track on Spotify last year. Other album track faves I would say are Real Love, Talking, and Magic, which just leaves 3 other tracks because it's a 10-track album, 30 minutes, so that's why I said there's no skips. But in future, I would like for her next album to have a little bit of variety, because I think it's just too much going bang, bang, bang.